So they take the excess, they take the extra, and they pocket it. Now I can see if they were doing it for themselves, right? I mean for the government, but they're doing it for themselves. Yeah, and they make excuses because of who I am. I should have the power to do so. Position gives you the power to do whatever it is you want to do. It gives you the power to steal outside the Constitution. It gives you the power to kill outside the Constitution. That's what we're thinking in our mind. I mean, yeah, that's what's going on today. We have a Constitution, but really it means absolutely nothing to those in position. And as we stated back in the days, and society is too weak to fight it. Yeah, we have to get together nowadays to go out and fight what's wrong. We even have people in position who's getting paid, and they're not living by the Constitution. They're not living even by their job requirement. I think about the CIA and the FBI. I spoke with the FBI the other day. I got the Caucasian woman, and I told you about her. Then I spoke with another woman, and she goes, well, you have to stay in Texas because that's not my jurisdiction. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, how could Texas tell us, you know? And the bottom line is they could be still investigating. But here's the problem. You're not sending me any information, and that's not constitutional either. Even for me not to get a contract. Someone should have had to follow up on the lawsuit. You have us sitting here like the man at the water board. Well, let me stop using him. Let's just say those who won, lawsuits in the past. They're going to throw them what they want to throw them. Some things are not court worthy. You don't have to go to court for embezzlement. There's no trial set if there's a guilty verdict already in effect. This is the words that I was told, but because of who's in position, because the governor, and in every Senate that's sitting behind them bars, every governor who's been behind those bars, and that's very rare, they need to come forward, or the family members, and say, why is it that Governor Perry is still in position? Why is the Mayor Castro still in position? Why is Senator Sheila still in position? Why is Barack Obama still running the race that we already know he's been thrown out for embezzlement? Why are these people who we know we can find on the record, even the ones, if the governor is not going to take the blame, if the mayor is not going to take the blame, then what about the workers when we see embezzlement on the account? There are no small people. There are no small people. They may be small in stature, but they mean a whole lot. They're just like, oh, I love kisses. The chocolate little candy, the best candies ever. Sometimes just one, because it's high in calories. Yeah, they can do so much to you. Just one kiss can do so much emotionally on the inside of you. One kiss. Yeah. Especially when you ain't had sweets in a long time. Bite into one of those little babies. Yeah, they can make you feel like a compassion. When I said compassion, I want to say what I said because I want y'all to think I'm always talking about orgasm. Yeah, but they can make you feel good. Yeah, for a greedy person that loves chocolate, yeah. But anywho, but it's the Lord that made the law, and we don't abide by His laws. We don't abide by our own laws. Why do we even have a government if we're not going to abide by the Constitution? We're not going to live according to the Declaration of Independence. We don't care about the laws. We don't care about the Constitution because we're in position. Do we really have anyone over the president that can stand up for us and say, you know what? I've looked into the paperwork and this is wrong. We would go over to other countries and fight them. But yet we ourselves are not abiding by our own Constitution. That's so hypocritical. And then they say that's part of war. That's part of war. Yet we have standards. Even worldwide, we have standards. And we don't abide by it. If we find that we can go over to another man's property and take it that away, then best believe eventually we're going to start fighting one another. Alliance my foot. The world is God's. He created it. You know what men does? Men try to war against God, just like Satan. That's why they create alliance. They don't create alliance for rules and regulation to keep things together. Yes, we are part of the world. Do you not know if God said do not go to the moon and we keep going to the moon, that moon is going to affect all of us. Every last one of us, just like the oil drill spill. That affected water animals, creatures, water creatures. and land creatures, because they have to go eat of that water. And that water is not just flowing over here in the United States. It's flowing all around the ocean. The Atlantic probably got some we wasn't aware of. Or the Pacific probably got a little bit that we wasn't aware of. Yeah, just like now, our water is contaminated. And y'all know the Holy Spirit been talking about water. I'm hearing it everywhere now. Not just in Texas. There's other parts of America now, they're saying there's too much iron in the water, too much this. Yeah. Don't tell me some folks, all these people we have coming over here from other countries to want to run for president, please don't tell me they're not warring against America. They can care less about America. These people we place in position can care less about us. We want a true president. We're living in damned days. These are damned days. They are damned if we do and damned if we don't. We got leaders up now that's up there just to steal, kill, and destroy us. They can care less about what's going on. A job to be a president and to get up in high leadership like the governor mayor is actually just to do what you want to do. They get paid to do what they want to do. They're not thinking about the environment control. That's in America. You go up in position for the environment. You keep the environment in order. That's what you do. You don't regulate a person. If you're going to regulate that person, you do it through the law. There are standards. And our standards in America are different. But now that they know that we have a weak FBI system, we have a weak CIA system, because to me, they're doing no different than the housing authority. I'm not going to take the case here because you're embezzlement. If you have that much authority, especially with the minds of some of them, you know what they do? They go right in. All we did was call someone to the scene to take the money from them, from the little thieves. And the higher up we go, we have more people stealing money. And then they wonder why we're in the deficit. And then some of you are crying out about what's going on in the country, when really, I believe, because I'm only speaking what I read in the papers, because I know very little about the laws and what you call this presidential election, and there's a word for it, and I'm still trying to pull to wake up. I can't even remember what it's called. I know what it's called. Politics, that's what it's called. I know very little about politics. I read the other day that Obama and them, they pay taxes. I didn't even know they paid taxes. Remember? I always said the president don't pay taxes because they told me that they don't pay taxes. I'm sitting up here thinking that the government don't pay taxes. I guess in some parts. I read that Obama now are paying 20%, or is that 20% tax on, I think it was $176,000 income. That's how much they make. $176,000 a year is how much the president makes, and they had to pay 20% on that. And I didn't even know they made, because most militaries don't, they don't pay tax. So I don't know. I don't know if it's retirement tax or what. I don't know what's going on now. I read that in the paper like, what? I didn't even know they paid taxes, right? And I don't know how it worked, because they were saying Romney is worth $1 billion, or $1 million is what Romney is worth. And on that, he was paying 14%. Yeah, I read it in the papers. I was like, oh, I don't know what the heck they're talking about, because I didn't think they paid taxes. But yeah, they pay taxes according to the paper. If I read it right, they pay taxes. But it's surprising. Eventually, they're going to try to take. But they pay taxes, but if they embezzle, they get all that money back, right? Yeah. That's the whole key to it. Let's go ahead and say we're doing this and that and the other and pass other people money around. But anyway, we said all that to bring us back to the law. And how Jesus healed on the Sabbath. And the reason he healed on the Sabbath was because of what? God created the law. It was his words. And so now we have to differentiate between God's law and man's law. There's always God's and man's. Because God separated man from himself when they began to do their own thing. Because they were in leadership. Yeah, he doesn't have as much hold on men as he had back in the days. Back in the days when he first created the land, he put a hedge between us. He separated us. He divided us because we had too much knowledge. And we talked about that before on Babel. But nowadays, being the end and new world, I believe the new world is prepared. I really believe that for a whole lot of people, the new world is prepared. And so what he has done, he said, okay, men control is greater than mine on earth, although I'm yet in control. I know it's harder for my people now. I know they're going through a lot. Yeah. However, I'm still there. Even when you don't get a contract, I'm still there. I am still enforced, is what he's saying. They can't override me.